So for the general public, just understanding that whatever you eat and whatever you do has an effect on your cells. So you may register, like lemons, for example, they register as acidic, but what the effect they have on your body is they alkaline it. So it's not the individual thing, it's what the outcome is on your cells.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Thrive State podcast. I'm your host, Dr. V, triple board certified MD and performance and longevity expert. And on today's podcast, we discuss a superfood. Did you know that there is a food that is stacked with protein, has tons of antioxidants, and will give you energy throughout the day? Stay tuned to find out. Hey, this is Dr. V. Welcome to the podcast, where every week I have the opportunity to bring you guests, thought leaders, experts in the world of performance, longevity, human potential, so that you have the tools and the access yourself to achieve your dream life. Now, I am actually at the Biohacking conference this week, and for the people that are at the Biohacking conference, I give them a digital access to me. So if you want to be able to tap my brain on longevity, performance, and human potential, get access to the digital version of me. I'm giving it away for free for everybody who's at the conference, but as a podcast listener, you can receive that too. Just go to mythrivestate.com/biohack. Enter your information and you will receive instantly 7 days of free access to the digital version of me, where you can tell it about your problems in health and wellness and your relationships, how to become a better leader. Really use this tool to get to your next potential. Again, that's mythrivestate.com/biohack. Now, on to today's podcast. We are connecting here with the CEO and founder of ENERGYbits, Catherine Arnston. Now, she is someone who is a leader and super passionate in the nutritional space, and she has actually introduced the superfood to America. And what is this superfood? Well, it is algae, specifically Spirulina and Chlorella. You will be super amazed to understand the health benefits of these superfoods. You can use it to actually replace meals, achieve more energy, and also help to detoxify your body. But rather than going over all the science now, listen in on this beautiful conversation with myself and Catherine Arnston. Welcome to a special edition of the Thrive State podcast. We are here at the Biohacking conference, where I am with Catherine Arnston from ENERGYbits.
Yes, so good to be here at the show and with you.
So there is a segment of the show that my audience is familiar with. 5 quick questions that just come out of thin air.
Okay.
15 seconds to answer each question. You win this 5 to 5 section.
I get to choose the box or the stage. Something exciting is going to happen.
Something super exciting is going to happen. Question number 1 was, what did you want to be when you grew up?
What did I want to be when I grew up? Yeah, I was younger. Gosh, I was sort of headed towards a business career, and I had a business career until my younger sister got sick with cancer, and our oncologist told her to change her diet to an alkaline diet. I helped her with that, and I fell into algae, and I am now a science geek and focused on biohacking and nutrition from algae.
More on that in a second. Question number 2 was, what one book or phrase entered your life and just completely opened your world?
So many. How do you choose one book? Man, well, there's been so many lately that has been just digging into this concept of eating healthy, and one is called The Ultra-Processed People, which was written by a doctor in the UK, and he just spells it out for you how disgusting and evil the food empire is, and how it's just messing up with all of our hormones and everything in our body. So Ultra-Processed People is a great book.
Ultra-Processed
People.
Question number 3 is that you and I were locked in an elevator, and you can only have one thing with you from the outside world during our 5 hours stuck in the elevator together. What would you have?
Well, if I was hungry, I would have my LP tablets with me for sure. And other than that, I'd probably have a great book or a great podcast to listen to.
Sounds
like
good.
yours.
Question number 4 is, if you were on stage with 50,000 people watching and I handed you a mic to sing a karaoke song, what song would you choose?
Oh, gosh. These are tough questions. All I do is work. I don't think of things that are fun anymore. It would have to be a Beatles song for sure. But so literally any Beatles song, any Beatles, because they were just so happy and short. With karaoke, short is good.
Sounds great. So, last question for you is how would you like to be remembered?
I think making a difference in the world, which is what I'm trying to do with bringing algae to America, because it is the most nutrient dense food in the world. And so that I started the momentum. Dave started the momentum for Biohacking. He worked on himself for years to find out why things were working really well, like this whole danger coffee idea and upgrade a coffee. So because he'd seen that when he was hiking through Tibet, they were putting butter in coffee and he gave him energy. So he started all of that by researching, being curious, testing himself, and brought it to America. And so I've been testing and researching algae, which is a big industry in Asia, but it needed to be a higher quality. It had to be explained. And so algae has been around for 4 billion years, but it's never been understood. So bringing it to America is what I would like to be remembered for, because we need to create a new agricultural industry growing algae here. And I'll get it started, but I need the world to carry it further.
Well, thank you for your...
I'm sure that was more than 15 seconds. She was all I was dry. Probably cut off the rest of the show.
So let's get to the point in time where you actually started diving into algae, and I think many people who know your story knows your younger sister got cancer. Tell us, what were you doing in life at the time, and how this diagnosis kind of crept into your life?
Yeah, well, I had an interesting career. I've had multiple careers, but prior to that, I was in the, you'll never believe it, the interior design industry. And
I could believe it.
that's good. I thought it'd be everything, but so I built a platform for hotels to sell the furniture in their hotels to their guests, and it was an entrepreneurial effort, and it was a lot of work, like looking all the other things I've been doing. But when my sister got sick, everything just got put on hold, and all I wanted to do was help her, and that's what I did. I devoted the next,
What was she diagnosed with?
a breast cancer. And it was very early, thank goodness. So, and her oncologist was a female, and it was in Canada. And I mentioned the female part is no offense, but women tend to be a little bit more open to nutrition, particularly in the medical field. And in Canada, there's a little less stranglehold of the pharmaceutical industry on the medical community, because America is the only place where pharmaceutical companies can advertise to the consumer. So you can't advertise in Canada. So nonetheless, she got this diagnosis. Her oncologist said, you should change your diet to an alkaline diet. Didn't tell her what it was or why it was good for her. I knew nothing about nutrition, but I'm a very good researcher, and I love my sister. So I said, I don't know either, but we'll figure it out. And it turned out to be alkalinity is usually from plants, and it's the phytonutrients and the chlorophyll that have been proven to build your immune system. And when you're going through chemo, you want a strong immune system. Number two, I found out there was a German scientist in the 30s by the name of Otto Warburg who won a Nobel Prize for discovering cancer cannot exist in cells that are solely alkaline. So I think having this alkalinity at the cells would prevent the cancer from growing further. So those are the two reasons I have to believe her. I never spoke directly to the oncologist, wanted her to have that diet. So I just hunkered down, found her foods. She went through chemo. She completely changed her diet. She's still cancer-free. 15 years later, we celebrate that. But I learned about alkalinity and plant-based nutrition. I thought this was important stuff that needed to be shared. I gave up my corporate career and went back for multiple educate. I got a degree recently, actually, a PhD in natural health. But I just wanted to take what I had learned and help my sister. I thought, well, I can help more people. I was not planning on building a company. I was going to be a coach, a health coach. But turned out that algae, which is the most alkaline nutrient-dense food in the world, scientifically backed with 100,000 studies, endorsed by United Nations and NASA for being the healthiest food in the world, used safely for 65 years in Asia, where they take it daily. I thought, this needs to get out to the world. So I decided, I guess I better build a company to do that. And so that's what I've been doing for the last 15 years. But it started with just wanting to help my sister.
Let's talk a little bit about alkalinity, because I think for the lay public, they're thinking, oh, this thing's going to change the pH of my blood. And then so there's a lot of things out there, alkaline water, etc. Now, when we talk about alkaline substance, exactly what makes it alkaline? Is it actually changing the pH of the blood, or is there just some nuances there? Because we know that the blood has a good buffer system.
Yes. So the alkalinity is at the cellular levels. This the old 80-20 rule. you get so much from the small 20% of your efforts give you 80% of the benefits. I would put algae in that 80% rule for getting the alkalinity. You can drink alkaline water. It just means you're not making your system more acidic, but it's not going to change. It's not going to move the needle a lot. You need chlorophyll is the most algae is the most alkaline food in the world. The only things that are more alkaline are baking soda, and you can't eat that. So you want things that are going to move the needle as much as possible, and that would be algae. So on the blood situation, so the alkalinity levels go from 0 to 14. And so as long as your cells are 7.1, you're just slightly on the alkalinity level. And that means if it's alkaline, that means there's oxygen in the cell. That means the cell is healthy. And also oxygen is released during the electron transport chain, which is part of the ATP process. So that means that that's working properly. Cancer cells can grow with that starts to fall apart. We have too many free radicals when the cell becomes acidic. And that means there's not enough oxygen in there. And then they become rogue cells. They don't know they're sick. And then they can't kill themselves, which is apoptosis. So for the general public, just understanding that whatever you eat and whatever you do has an effect on your cells. So you may register, like lemons, for example, they register as acidic, but what the effect they have on your body is they alkaline it. So it's not the individual thing, it's what the outcome is on your cells of that item. And lemons are a perfect example. They convert to alkalinity in your body. Now, as I mentioned, the 7.1 at the cellular level will keep cancer out of the cells. Your blood is even more alkaline. It's 7.34. Now, the good news is our bodies are the most refined piece of equipment. Mother Nature, God, universe, whatever you want to think, designed us in an incredible way. So that if you were too acidic by eating too much dairy, too many processed foods, too much steak, there's all these things are acidic. Or if you're stressed, it's acidic. It causes a cascade of reactions in your body. So if your blood gets too acidic, your body knows, oops, I would die if my blood got too acidic. So it automatically pulls minerals, which are alkaline, calcium, magnesium, potassium, out of your bones, out of your cells, out of your organs, and instantly neutralizes all that acidity so that you won't have a ball. But if that happens too frequently, too much sugar, too much processed foods, think of it. It's like withdrawing too much money from your bank. Eventually, you're going to get overdrawn. Eventually, your body will start struggling because all that those great minerals that were supposed to be there for doing other things, helping with enzymatic transactions, for example, are gone. So that's when you start falling into the situation where you're unhealthy. And also, it's really cool, again, back to the blood. The hemoglobin, which is what carries oxygen in your blood, they have a negative charge around them. And this is so that they will repel one another. If you ever have magnets, you know how they repel one another. So the negative charge allows the hemoglobin to carry the oxygen. So you have oxygen being delivered to your body, to your cells. The acidity strips it off. So now the hemoglobin clumps. Two things happen. Now they're so fat because they're clumped. If you have any what's called dry blood analysis, you'll see these kinds of formations of your blood that aren't healthy. So they can't fit into the capillaries. So now you're depleting the oxygen supply because they're not holding the oxygen properly, and they can't get where they need to go. So as soon as you start bringing back that alkalinity, which you can do naturally through things like algae, the alkaline charge is restored to the hemoglobin. They can get where all the oxygen can get where it needs to go. And there is this thing called dry blood analysis that they use when people have blood disorders, and sometimes the blood clumps in long, narrow pieces. Sometimes it clumps in big, fat ones. Your blood is your lifeline to deliver nutrients to your body. So you want to keep that as healthy as possible.
So she gets this diagnosis. What was the story on landing on algae? And took a bunch of research.
Could you take a trip to Asia or how did you land on algae?
Yeah, but it's a good question because I didn't start with algae. I just want to help my sister. I did some research and I read hundreds of papers on this online library called PubMed. And I started learning all this stuff about plant-based nutrition. And I thought, this is interesting, but I need to get back to work. And this little quiet voice in me said, keep going. And no, I don't know any science. Keep going. So I just kept going. So I gave up my corporate career and I went to the school called Institute for Integrative Nutrition, where I got a health coaching certificate. Wasn't deep on nutrition or even science, but it gave me something. And this is what led me to algae, because after I graduated, I put a curriculum together teaching people plant-based nutrition. And I gave my lectures for free at corporations and hospitals. teaching people the importance of eating more vegetables, more leafy greens. And people almost laughed me off the stage because they said, look, my mother's been trying to get me to eat, more plants since I was tiny, but I don't like them, or they're too much work, or they give me gas, so I throw half of them out and my kids won't eat them. So what I decided, okay, I've seen the science. Plant-based nutrition is important. If I can't get people to eat more plants than what mother can, I have to find a way. I didn't know what it was going to be. I had no idea, but I just thought I can find a way. I don't know what it is, but I will just keep going. And this is how you're on the right path, because there's this voice inside you that just keeps saying, keep going. It won't tell you what the answer is, but you just have to keep putting your foot.
That's the way the universe works.
So, yeah. It's because when you open that one door, there'll be the next door and then the next door. And so I didn't know what I was going to find. I just looked at everything I found for my sister. And when I got to algae, that's when the miracle happened, because I found out, first, it was the most alkaline food in the world. Second, the most nutrient-dense food in the world. We have a quote from NASA that says, 1 gram of algae has 1,000 times more nutrition than any other fruit or vegetable. 1 to 1,000. But the United Nations had a global conference 50 years ago and declared spirulina algae colors ENERGYbits as the answer to world hunger, because drumroll has the highest concentration of protein in the world, 3 times the amount at steak. Then I found out there was 100,000 studies documenting different health benefits of the spirulina and chlorella, reducing inflammation, mitochondrial improvements, brain health, heart health, fitness improvement, skin health, digestive. Unbelievable. 100,000 studies, can't argue with that. And it's been grown as an agricultural crop in Asia for 60 years, where they take it every day. The Japanese do not take supplements. They do not leave their house without chlorella algae, which is where the industry all started. So as I looked at all these things, internationally endorsed, proven, 0 negative side effects, proven by science, and the best part of all, this is the best part, I say the best part of all, is that they came in these little tiny tablets, about the size of a baby astrum. Each one of these tablets has the same nutrition as an entire plate of vegetables, but you know what? You don't have to cook them. You don't have to clean them. You don't. Most people swallow them. I like to chew them. Now, I have made it easy, and this is, they take this way in Asia. It's an acquired taste, so it's very green, but you can blend them in smoothies, mix them with trail mix. Now, mothers, kids, professionals, you're traveling, you're an athlete, you can carry, lunch would be 30 tablets. There's 1 calorie per tablet. It has 40 vitamins and minerals, highest protein in the world. You can swallow them. Most people just swallow them. You need at least 10 at a time to feel anything. 15 a day is better. If you're an athlete and want a great workout, 20 or 30 is even better. That's for spirulina. So no taste if you swallow them. There's 0 taste.
I still don't like the taste.
Zero repeat, like on fish oil. And it lasts 3 years. This is the answer. This is fast food. This is the future of fat. It doesn't get any faster than throwing it back and swallowing it down. And you're getting the nutrients that you need. It's ketogenic. It doesn't interfere with fasting. It has 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 caffeine, 1 ingredient. Ours is unprocessed. It's raw. It's food. Yeah. In fact, we made new t-shirts to this one.
It's a food.
Because I'm bits, because they're bits of nutrition. Nothing else in there. So whether you're a mother or an athlete or a busy executive, so that's spirulina. That's the nourishment one.
Yeah, so let's rewind a little bit.
Okay, so that's
what for those who may not know what algae is. We know it's in the ocean, and there's probably, we see it probably. People might remember going to a beach or an offsite where they're learning a little bit of biology, like, oh, what's that stuff floating in the ocean? It's algae. So can we break down what class algae is and how it actually exists?
Yeah, sure.
I hope you're enjoying the podcast so far. If you are, I just wanted to let you know, join our community. There's so many free resources and a great community of people that desire health, happiness, human potential, to have more in their life, more health, more energy. And when you have those two things together, you could create more happiness, more abundance, whether it be financial, romantic, all these things in your life. And if you're just starting out, you don't know where to go, just sign up for ThriveStateStarter.com, because in there you're going to get a bundle of information that includes a longevity ebook, a longevity and performance resource guide, lecture notes that come from my keynotes at Google, at Fortune 500 companies, all the insights in that keynote in lecture slide form given to you. And then finally, breathwork. I share 3 powerful breathwork exercises to access calm, which really gives you clarity and peace during the day, to access energy if you need to wake up and really motivate yourself, and finally a breathwork routine that you could do every single morning so that you could be very intentional with how you create that day. You can find all this stuff delivered free to your inbox at thrivestatestarter.com. And our community is growing. If you want to be a part of a community of people that desire the Thrive State, that are really in Thrive State themselves and help other people along with that, you could be a part of the community. You can get group coaching from me. We do breathwork sessions, meditation sessions, and you also get to drop in and participate in podcasts in the future. You could find more about the community at mythrivestate.com. That's mythrivestate.com. So check out those resources. You're not going to be disappointed. And please enjoy the remainder of this podcast.
Well, first of all, there's the first life on Earth, and we'll talk about that later on, 4 billion years ago. But there's algae is its own food category, just like mushrooms are its own category. And within algae, you have 2 main subcategories, macroalgae and microalgae. We're talking about microalgae, but let me tell you what macroalgae is. It is that stringy stuff that you see washing on the shore, also known as seaweed or dulse. And it's called seaweed because it's only in the sea. Now, it's still good for you because it has high fiber, but has virtually 0 nutrition. And because it comes from the sea, it also has iodine. That could be good news or bad news, but there's only a few strains. It's only in the sea, high fiber, virtually 0 nutrition. I used to buy those bags of kelp noodles, and there'd be like 4 calories in an entire bag because there's no nutrition in it or good fibers.
And that's the stuff people were getting in their sushi rolls.
Correct. Yeah. So we're talking about microalgae. Now, it's called microalgae because you can't see it. It's microscopic in size. You could get 1 million microalgae on the head of a pin. That's how tiny it is. And unlike macroalgae, seaweed, it's everywhere. It is in the sea. It's also in the lakes, the rivers, the soil, your swimming pool, your aquarium. And it's harvested as a food group agricultural crop in Asia in fresh water. So whether you buy algae from us, the microalgae we'll talk about in a minute, or from Trader Joe's or Bob's Warehouse, it's not from the ocean. It's harvested as an agricultural crop hydroponically. So microalgae, microscopic, and it has virtually 0 fiber. Macroalgae is all fiber. Spirulina doesn't even have any fiber. So it's either no fiber or very little fiber. Chlorella does have it. But it is the most nutrient-dense food in the world. So completely opposite. And there's tens of thousands of strains. So one main strain is blue-green algae, and another main strain is green algae. Spirulina is one strain of blue-green algae. So think of, let's make the analogy with fruits. Within fruits, which would be microalgae, you have bananas and apples. So the bananas and apples version would be, maybe that's not bananas, but let's say apples. Macroalgae would be one version, and an apple, or microalgae is compared to an apple. But within an apple, you have Macintosh, you have green apples, you have like 1,000 fruit Fiji. So within microalgae and blue-green algae, you have thousands of strains. Spirulina is just one of them. So when you read about a blue-green algae closing your favorite beach, we're not talking about spirulina. Spirulina is the one that's harvested in fresh water as an agricultural crop. So you can see how there's these divisions. The same with chlorella. Chlorella is just one green algae, and it's the one that's caught on, and is the one that's harvested. But there's many, many more. But they're completely opposite to the stringy stuff that washes up on shore. Now, because these 2, spirulina and chlorella, are harvested in fresh water, there is no iodine. You can only get the iodine from the ocean. So that could be good news or bad news for people, depending on what they want. So macroalgae is stringy and high fiber, no nutrition. Microalgae, no fiber virtually, and high nutrition.
So let's break down a little bit in terms of health benefits. How did these 2 strains, the Chlorella and the Spirulina, become like the ones that most people are considering superfoods these days? And what exactly is it doing to the body?
Well, they act completely differently in the body. So spirulina is known for having providing energy, and it provides it at the cellular level. So it's not a stimulant like coffee, chemicals, or sugar, which speed up molecules. So you get a rush and then a crash. It's sort of like putting paper on a fire. With spirulina, it's like putting a log on the fire because it generates more ATP at the cellular levels. And your body can't store ATP, so it's used in the moment, whatever you're doing. So if you took some spirulina tablets, 50 or 20 before a workout, I promise you, you will have the best workout ever. Your focus will be great. You could lift more or run further, and you won't even have noticed. If, however, you're just sitting on the couch, not doing it, you won't maybe feel much, but you'll feel your fatigue will be gone, your focus will be better, and you won't be hungry. So spirulina is nourishing, energizing, focused, gives you better focus. So it's great brain food. In fact, there's 2 nutrients in spirulina that aren't found in any other food in the world. One is a smaller amount. It's in the Chlorella. It's an antioxidant called superoxide dismutase, also known as SOD. And there are 25,000 studies documenting how this SOD prevents inflammation, prevents Alzheimer's, prevents heart disease, prevents just about everything. But you can't find it in any food. And your body stops making it for you after the age of 30 or 40. You have it until then, but after 40, it's gone. Just like your melatonin is gone, and your hormones or estrogen, if you're female, are gone. So is your superoxide dismutase. And what superoxide dismutase does is it protects your mitochondria from free radical damage. Think of superoxide dismutase like a big golf umbrella. You know those big golf umbrellas people have? If you're caught in a rainstorm, whether you're on the golf course or shopping with friends, you just pop that baby up, you get 5 people under there. Now, you don't stop the rain, but you stop getting wet. That's what superoxide dismutase does, because there are free radicals released as a byproduct of ATP, and your mitochondrial DNA are located right where that is occurring. So you need the free radicals because they're a byproduct of ATP, and you need ATP because that's the lifeline of energy for you. So superoxide dismutase converts the free radicals in the mitochondria into harmless water and oxygen. So it doesn't stop the free radicals, but it protects the mitochondria by converting them. Just like a big golf umbrella doesn't stop the rain, but it protects you. So you have that protection from the moment you're born till about 30 when it slows down. By 40, that golf umbrella is gone. It's about the size of a cocktail umbrella. Now your mitochondria are getting exposed to the free radicals that never stopped, but used to be neutralized by the superoxide dismutase into water and oxygen. Nobody seems to know yet, though, the highest concentration of superoxide dismutase is in spirulina. But it's also that SOD is also an enzyme, and so all the lesser quality algae tablets that are out there, to cut corners, they use high heat so they can get to market quickly. And that kills enzymes. High heat, over 114, kills all enzymes, including the superoxide dismutase. So you're not getting the benefit that you would get from ours because we don't use high heat. You could also eat fresh or frozen spirulina because, once again, they haven't been exposed to high heat. So this is a mitochondrial health product. And because your brain has the most mitochondria, 2 million per cell, I call this brain food, because one of the first things that starts turning on your mitochondria are like the lights in a building. You can't do any work without any lights, right? And when in a building, if your lights go out, you just call maintenance, they come and replace the lights. Well, superoxide dismutase is like maintenance. But as you get older, your mitochondria, which are like providing the lights in your body, in your building, in your brain, they go out, they get damaged, they die. So over time, especially after 50, your lights go out, literally. And that's why you get brain fog and fatigue and chronic disease. So we need to turn those lights back on, and the way to do it is with superoxide dismutase. This is like having maintenance come and turn those lights back on for you. And you don't have to wait long time, 24 hours, because your ATP starts kicking back in, and once you've got more cellular energy, everything works better. So to me, this is the most powerful part of spirulina. It does have the highest protein in the world. It has 40 vitamins and minerals. The other great nutrient is the one that makes it blue. It's called phycocyanin, and that's also an antioxidant. And also it's been proven to kill cancer cells, and that's a whole nother conversation. So has amazing healing properties while also satisfy your hunger. If anyone's on a GLP-1, please take this, because this is the highest protein in the world, and you're not hungry on GLP-1, but your body still is generating its cells. And if you don't give it what it needs, you're going to lose muscle mass. You're going to lose, important cellular structure. So throw them back with water and you're good to go. This could be lunch. You take 30 of these for lunch, 30 calories, no carbs, no sugar, nothing. You won't be hungry for 2 or 3 hours. We're here at the show. I can't tell you how many of my fellow vendors come up and thank me because everyone's so busy at the show. Thank you, Dave. They don't have time for lunch. So this is what keeps them going all day long. Same with athletes. We have people that run 100 miles, ultra runners. All they use is this and water. And we feel NHL teams, NFL teams, Olympic teams, doesn't upset your stomach. It's crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We have a couple of minutes left, but let's talk about chlorella.
Yes. Completely. So spirulina is a cyanobacteria. It doesn't even have a cellular wall, which is important to know because it gets into your body immediately. Chlorella came about a billion years after spirulina, and it does have a cellulose wall. In fact, it has the hardest cellulose wall in the plant kingdom. And what's important about chlorella is that it's a detoxing, immune-building algae. Spirulina is a nourishing, energizing algae. Detox and immune built. So how does it detox you? Well, a couple things. That hard cell wall attaches to all heavy metals, lead, mercury, radiation, aluminum, glyphosate, pesticides, also lactic acid, alcohol, and chelates and pulls them out of your body, number one. That fiber feeds your gut biome, which you also need. Your gut biome needs healthy fiber to create what's called short-chain fatty acids to keep you healthy. It also has the highest glutathione in the world. Glutathione is a very important detoxing algae, particularly nutrient for the liver. And this is great to stack with, you're getting a glutathione drip, by the way, because that glutathione drip only will last about an hour. And so if you take the algae, this chlorella at the same time, you will extend the benefits. So you get the pulling out the toxins, fiber feeds the gut biome, the high glutathione is also detoxing, highest chlorophyll in the world. Spirulina's claim, highest protein in the world. This has 500 times more chlorophyll than arugula and 25 times more than liquid chlorophyll. It's called chlorella because of the chlorophyll. What does chlorophyll do? Kills bacteria. Kills it in your mouth, kills it in your colon. So that's pretty cool. And also chlorella stimulates what's known as bowel movement. And I tell people, you got to get rid of the junk in your trunk. Because the stuff that's sitting down there is stuff your body didn't want. It's like having a garbage truck parked in front of your house permanently. And so your blood will circulate and pull those toxins back out and move them through your house again. You don't want that. So this is why all of these things fit together for detoxing and building your immune system. By the way, 80% of your immune system is in your gut. So this has the nutrients, again, 40 vitamins and minerals that feed your immune system. It also has the highest tryptophan in the world, which helps you guys, a precursor to melatonin, and that helps you sleep. So it won't make you sleepy, but it'll help you get into a deep sleep. And when you're sleeping, that's when your detox and repair is happening. So this is why sleep is so important. So this is very much a take before bed. You can take it any time of day, but definitely before bed because it will pull out whatever toxins you're exposed to. We all take a shower every morning to clean our outside of our body. This is like getting your body a shower from the inside. So they do completely different things. I think of spirulina as brain food, chlorella as gut food, and of course those are joined by the vagus nerve. Or think of spirulina as AM, chlorella as PM. Another fun way to think about it is I see it at hotels a lot. And sometimes I get room service, and room service comes, and I've nourished for the day, and well, that's sort of like spirulina. I'm nourished for the day. Then you come back to your room afterwards, the garbage is gone, the bed is made, everything's all cleaned up, and it's like, oh, that's sort of like chlorella. It cleans everything up. So think of spirulina as room service. Chlorella is housekeeping. So anything to help people understand the difference. But this is nourishment in, this is toxins out. That alone will help you understand.
That's amazing. We had a really great, overview on algae and its benefits. And I could tell you that it really fits into the type of work that I do because particularly the spirulina really works in the mitochondria. We know that mitochondrial dysfunction is basically a root cause of so many chronic diseases of early aging, which is why it's so important. And the detoxification pathways with all the toxins we currently are exposed to, that's excellent as well. How do people find out more about you and ENERGYbits?
Sure.
Be forward.
Well, our website is ENERGYbits.com, and we write a full blog every month, and it's all full of science. You can buy any products. We have different bags, we have individual canisters. We have these little fun little travel tins so you can fill up your tin and take them with you on the plane. But and we're very active on social. At ENERGYbits is our handle. And I'm giving away these books here at the show, and also with order, called The Algae Love Story, because my whole journey into love was started because of the love of my sister. But as I learned more about algae and what it does, I thought, well, it loves your body back to life, just like real love does. As real love is for everyone, so is algae. Love is sustainable, so is algae. Love is nourishing, so is algae. Love is proven, so is algae. Love's give you life, so is algae. So I'm clearly in love with algae, and I want to make it everyone else's love story too, because we are in love with life. And when we see our loved ones having difficulty, whether they're children with autism or our grandparents because they're having chronic illnesses, or even our parents or even our peers, we want them to get better, and we want it to make it easy, proven, healthy, and food-based from where I come from. So this is a whole food. So I want algae to be everyone's love story, so that we can get people back on track and make it effortless and easy and safe. So that's sort of what I'm trying to do.
Well, definitely check them out. Last question for you, and you can't use the word algae because I know they would say, I should back.
Right.
What has been your best medicine?
Other than algae, I would say sleep. Absolutely. Yeah. And well, I'm going to have two. I'm going to cheat and ask you too. Passion gives you life. Passion gives you life. Parents have passion for their children. Entrepreneurs, we have passion for making a difference. And it turns a switch on in your body, and it just draws. It's like being plugged into outlets, having a passion. And I am so grateful. I had a nice career, but I wasn't passionate about it. And as you've met me a couple of times now, and everybody pretty much knows me. I mean, I am so in love and passionate about algae, because what it can do for people. And the other great thing is, this journey is not about me. It's about you, and helping you and everyone find their way back. And if I can turn those lights back on in your head and in your body and your mitochondria, so you can find your energy, because it takes a lot of energy to have passion. Let's turn your energy back on, get your passion back, and get back out in life, because there's a lot to live for.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. We know that passion, or just the feeling of aliveness, switches on and changes up your nervous system and turns your biology, and you're sending signals to every single cell as we have something we need to do.
Yeah.
And so that's anti-aging as well. Catherine Arnston at the ENERGYbits. Check her out. Catherine for the other place.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Thrive State podcast. And if you're finding that this content is really helping you and your family members, please consider supporting our mission and our cause of elevating health, happiness, and human potential for people all over the world. You can do so by making sure that you subscribe to this podcast, sharing it with your friends and family members, and leaving us a 5-star review wherever podcasts are heard. All these things are going to really help elevate the show and to give us the resources to continue to bring more content just like this to yourself, as well as the people that you love. If you haven't already, you might want to consider joining our community. We actually have a community where people get to engage with me in group sessions, where we do breathwork, meditation, where we do challenges together, really to be able to get us access to health, happiness, human potential, so that we could have longevity and performance in our life as well. You can check out our community at mythrivestate.com. That's mythrivestate.com. And if you haven't already, pick up a copy of my book, Thrive State. It really gives you all the tools, the pillars that you need to create a blueprint to control the energetics of your life. Who are you? How do you show up in the world? The choices that you consistently make create an energy in your body, and you can control this. And when you can control that, you also control the messages you give to your DNA that gives you access, again, to optimal health, longevity, and peak performance. And let me also just share a free gift to you. If you haven't already, please pick up my longevity and performance bundle, where I share lecture notes, ebooks, breathwork exercises, and longevity and performance resources at thrivestatestarter.com. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. Thank you for helping us grow. Remember always, my friends, that you are your best medicine.